rounding out the movies that I've seen in theaters this year, I've seen Sonic 3 recently. It's not a long list of movies, let me tell you. I didn't see a whole lot this year. I've only seen like 3. One of them being Deadpool Wolverine, which was a good movie. One of them being Twisters, which was not a good movie. And then obviously Sonic 3, which was the best movie I've seen in a long time, actually. And now I'm going to attribute that mostly to nostalgia. It is such a good movie for Sonic fans, especially Sonic fans who love Sonic Adventure 2. If that's one of your favorite Sonic games, you absolutely have to see this movie. I'm going to try to keep it spoiler-free at first. That's going to change by the end of the video, I'm sure, because I'm pretty bad at keeping things spoiler-free. Now, aside from some of the human jokes that never really seem to land in these kind of movies, they did diminish the human characters quite a bit in this movie. I actually do enjoy what the main human cast does in this movie, especially compared to the last one. The last one had that subplot with the shit with the humans, and it was just kind of obnoxious. This movie, they do a real good job with the main human cast. And obviously I'm not talking about Robotnik when I'm talking about human cast, because Robotnik is an entity above the others. Let me just put it that way. And Jim Carrey in this movie, my God, he does such a great job. He literally plays 2 characters. Now, that's not really a spoiler. Like, you already know if you've seen the trailer. He literally plays basically 2 Robotniks. It's just one of them's really fucking old. And he does such an amazing job in this movie. Like, you can tell when an actor is really enjoying himself. And yeah, Jim Carrey's definitely enjoying this role. Now, should you go see this movie? If you're a big Sonic fan, absolutely. Why the hell haven't you already seen this movie? If you're not a Sonic fan, I mean, you could give it a shot if you've seen the other 2 Sonic movies and you enjoyed them. You probably wouldn't enjoy them as much as like a diehard Sonic fan, because like the nostalgia would kind of be lost on you, but I still feel like you'd probably enjoy it. It is a fun family movie. Okay, enough beating around the bush. I can't do this anymore. We've got to spoil the movie. Here's a big spoiler warning for you right now. The rest of this video is going to be nothing but spoils. You better see the movie. It's a great movie. Gotta see it. Alright, here comes the spoils. So of course you already know that Shadow is basically a villain, quote-unquote villain in this, but also Robotnik and Robotnik's grandfather also turn into villains in this. You know, Robotnik, at first you think, oh, he's gonna be a good guy finally. No, he fucking immediately joins his grandfather and just is like, I'm evil again. And that's it. They go off to launch basically this movie's equivalent of the Space Colony arc from Sonic Adventure 2, except it's not really the Space Colony arc, and there's no Bio-Lizard, by the way, so just a heads up if you're a huge fan of Sonic Adventure 2. There's a lot of elements from the game, but there's a lot of elements that are missing, thankfully, because how in the hell would they explain what the hell the fucking Bio-Lizard is in a movie of about 2 hours of runtime? I don't think that's going to happen, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't do something like that. So a lot happens during the climax. So to start it off, Sonic and Shadow fight, of course. Sonic goes Super Sonic, and then Shadow goes Super Shadow, or Hyper Shadow, whichever he is called. They, of course, fight it out, and somehow it's one of the most epic climaxes I've seen in a very, very long time. Like, it is beautifully animated for it being 2 anthropomorphic animated hedgehogs dueling it out. Eventually, it takes the fight to outer space. It's crazy, and then, of course, Ivo Robotnik betrays his grandfather because his grandfather is somehow even more insane than he is, and he wants to destroy the world while Ivo just wants to rule it. So Ivo relents, and he eventually becomes a good guy, and he has to stop his grandfather. Meanwhile, Sonic and Shadow are trying to... They end up teaming up, of course. And I've never spurred out so much during a movie before. I can't believe they did something so badass. They go hypersonic and hyper shadow or whatever, and it fucking plays Live and Learn. I swear to God, it's the most hype shit ever. It's so good. I can't believe it. Now, unfortunately, they don't really fight anything crazy. They just fight a couple, like, Eggman robot, couple disposable Eggman robots and shit. But man, just that whole part. I swear to God, I've never spurred out so much in a movie theater. I can't believe what I was watching. And the hit of nostalgia, it was so strong. It was unbelievable. So Gerald ends up dying. He like gets evaporated and shit. So Ivo teams up with Tails and Knuckles to try and like control I'll just call it the Space Colony Arc, because it's basically just that. To like gain control of the Space Colony Arc before it can shoot the laser at Earth. They do stop it, but it's about to explode, and they can't really stop it from exploding, so they have to figure out a way to move it. Shadow and Sonic, of course, they join up and start moving the Space Colony Arc. Sonic ends up passing out and falling to Earth, and leaving Shadow alone to push the Space Colony Arc away from the Earth. And it explodes, seemingly killing off both Ivo Robotnik and Shadow. But of course, there's an end credit scene that shows that Shadow is still alive. If I had to guess, we're probably going to get either a Shadow standalone movie or a series. Hopefully it's a movie, because I'm not big on seeing these TV shows, but I don't know, we'll see. I'll be fine with whatever. So Sonic eventually just gangs up, rejoins his family, I should say. They have a little party. All is right in the world. They do a race to see who's fastest between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles at the end of the movie. And then after a little bit of the credits, about midway through the credits, of course, there's more. Turns out that, guess what? The next Sonic movie is going to basically be Sonic CD, because fucking Metal Sonic shows up. And not just one of them, a whole fucking ass army of Metal Sonic show up and start attacking Sonic randomly. And then a hammer comes out of nowhere, so you already know that, of course, Amy shows up. She doesn't say anything, and she really is only on screen for a very short time. But yeah, it's fucking Amy. Amy and Metal Sonic are both going to be in the next Sonic movie, I assume anyway. So yeah, Sonic 4 is going to be Sonic CD. God knows what they're going to do with it. I can't fucking wait for it, though. It's going to be great, I'm sure. I don't think it's going to be as hype as this movie. You can't imagine the hit of nostalgia that just hearing the melody of Live and Learn start to play as Sonic and Shadow power up. It's something that I can't explain. So yeah, if you are a fan of, especially if you are a fan of Sonic Adventure 2, you have to see this movie. Like, you have to. Somehow, if you haven't seen it yet, you absolutely have to. Of course, I just spoiled it for you, so there you go. I mean, you should have seen the movie anyway. Shadow, you already knew Shadow was in it. Like, what's wrong with you? But yeah, the movie's great. I give it a big thumbs up. Best movie I've seen this year. Not that that's saying a whole lot, but yeah, go see the movie if you like Sonic. If you don't like Sonic, maybe give it a shot. You might like it. That's the only bad thing about it. I've got the nostalgia glasses on. I like Sonic, and I like Sonic Adventure 2. So, of course, I'm going to say I love the fucking movie. But, like, I know not everybody's a Sonic fan, so it's hard telling if you'll like the fucking movie or not. But give it a shot. It's a good movie. I don't really have any complaints about it. That's it from me. Go watch the movie.